Ludum Dare 54 has now concluded, and with over 2,165 entries, it was a great competition. I teamed up with Harry and John from the GNTK Game Jam video for what would be my personal 15th entry into Ludum Dare. Our game ended up being a looter game where you play as a goblin trying to get as much money from a vault before the entire thing collapses on you. Feeding into the theme of limited space, your inventory is an odd shape and every single treasure item takes up unique shapes that you have to fit into the inventory. Here's how we made it. Progress started off by implementing basic movement and a test level that you can see here. Next, work began on creating treasure items, which we could interact with and pick up. Look at that little hand do his little thing. Next, Harry began work on the basic inventory system. We wanted a Resident Evil style system where items could take up random shapes that could be rotated and fit to fill space. The idea being the inventory would be a bag-like shape and you would fit loot of different sizes into it. I then began work on creating the vault that the game would take place in. The vault had a simple layout with a stage that dropped down into a wider area and a starting room where the game began once passing through the door. John made some improvements to the movement system, including stamina for running and jumping. And to wrap up the first day's progress, Harry improved the inventory system, making the items square and creating an outline for items so that you could see the space they took up when you were placing them in the inventory. Sunday's work began with making improvements to the vault by adding in money piles and these coin decals on the floor. Next, treasure items were added to the piles so that you could spawn in random loot. Me and John worked on a chest with a coin particle explosion, and the chest would contain bigger items that were generally worth more. Next, the vault was filled with more coin piles and chests to give what would be the final layout of the game, and that was all for Sunday. For the final day, we added multiple new treasure items, including gems from sapphires, rubies, emeralds and diamonds, necklaces that would have all of those types of gems, ankhs, swords, whatever this thing is, I think we said it's a statue, sure, that works, candelabras, and this ohm sign thing. Next, the inventory was finalized with a bag sprite for the background, the correct inventory shape and an area where the items spawn when you pick them up. The items were also given their proper sprites and had backgrounds that were easier to see and distinguish against the inventory. Oh yeah, and we added this skull. Don't talk about it. To add the sense of urgency to the game, in addition to the sand timer, we added in collapsing effects with dust particles and rubble falling from the ceiling, in addition to camera shake. Perhaps a little too much camera shake! Finally, to tie things together, we added in a main menu page with some simple sound settings, and that was the game finished. We ended up scoring really well in the top 5 performances of all Ludum Dares I've entered. It's especially good since our team was half of what it usually would be for Ludum Dare, and I was away on the Saturday and me and Harry had work on the Monday, so we were working with less time than we have in previous competitions. It was a lot of fun and I really enjoyed the game that we were left with. If you'd like to play it, there's a link down in the description. Thank you very much for watching. Catch you in the next one.